Yeah. What's up, everybody? It looks a little different today. You're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, there's no Eric Knight. There's no HB Prince. Well, there's Sean Diva. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Exclusive is there. Wait a minute. So this is different because me and Sean Diva haven't had the opportunity to
Show
grace
had
your
y'all.
screen at the same time. But that is happening today for this episode 63 of the Exclusive Nights podcast. It's the first week of April. There's been a lot going on in the wrestling world, especially this week in WWE. Maybe Sean Diva, maybe not the best of weeks in WWE, but we've been getting a lot of hit and misses lately. So, there could be a little bit of anything, you know? So we're going to see how that kind of unplays this week. But we're going to get into Raw. We're going to get into SmackDown. We're going to get into NXT. And so it's going to be a very fun episode today. But it's just the road to WrestleMania. So there's so much going on. So with that being said, in this episode of the Exclusive Nights podcast, obviously we're missing two of our members today now. But one of our members, the man, Eric Knight, the man, myth, and the legend himself, has some exclusive thoughts that he has to get off of his chest with his thoughts for the week. So let's go ahead and listen from Eric Knight right now.
Come on now. I know this ain't like me, but hey, look, what's going on, man? It's your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight, giving y'all my exclusive thoughts for the week. I ain't gonna lie, man. Look, this week was, yeah, bro. I just, it's not enough words, and y'all know how I talk about this every week, man. It's just sometimes it can just be a damn emotional roller coaster. But what I will say is this: Monday Night Raw wasn't too bad. I think probably my favorite part of Monday Night Raw was definitely seeing the whole thing with Brock and Ova. Ova literally going crazy, taking Adam Pearce, tossing him into the barricade, and taking the one security dude, and I mean, flung him. I mean, that joint was hilarious. But yeah, man, I think that was my favorite part of the night. So far, it's looking like it could be a serious build-up, but I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. NXT, come on, bruh. It's either good or it's great. I love to see the match. I think probably my favorite part of the night had to be Jada Parker and my girl Lonnie, man. Look, hey, it was a great match. Love the story that they're telling. Good to see that Jada finally got the dub on this match right here. But honestly, man, look, I ain't gonna cap. I need to see more from those two women. They need to be going for a title. I don't know what it is. It's like when it comes to Lonnie and Jada, they gave him this little short storyline this is like the second time. So look, if we're going to do another storyline, let's make it lengthy. Let's make it long. Pause. That sounded crazy. SmackDown. Look, bruh, I don't know how many times y'all going to keep pissing me off with this BS. I can't even keep saying that the SmackDown's the best part of the end of the week. Y'all killing me with this. This whole thing with Melo, Sammy, and Trick. And then you had Sammy try to give the rematch to Melo on SmackDown. Criminal. It's criminal. But overall, NXT again, best part of the week. Love to see my girl Jada. Love to see my girl Lonnie, man. Hey, look, again, appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Look, this show gonna be great because you know who up on there. Okay, ain't nothing but the Exclusive Nights. So y'all be good. I'll catch y'all next week. And just remember, the devil be working hard, but the Exclusive Nights, we work harder, baby. Asterisk.
That's Trick. Yeah, that's right, E. That's our man, Eric Knight, host of the Exclusive Nights podcast, So Eric, Sean Diva, he always bringing the heat.
Yep, always.
So yeah, we do got a lot to get into and a lot to kind of just break down. We got, Raw, SmackDown, and of course NXT. And so we'll start off with what's supposed to be the best part of the beginning of the week. Sometimes Eric's like to say 2 hours of heat, 2 hours of fire. It might have been a little bit of that, but we're gonna go ahead and get into Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw was very interesting. There obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania, so there's a lot going on right now. People are trying to figure out when, what, where, why, how this is going to play. Are you going to be able to hook us in leading into WrestleMania? WrestleMania is 2 weeks away. Some storylines are doing that. Maybe some storylines are not. But we kicked off Monday Night Raw with Cody Rhodes and a man in the soul, something, 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 Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes comes out to the ring. He's talking his talk. And then you hear, well, shout out to Stephanie McMahon, by the way. Then you hear, dun, 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 and then you hear one of the greatest theme songs in women's wrestling, period. And so she comes out to the ring. She's talking. She's like, hey, Cody. She's trying to convince Cody, look, Randy's a different monster, okay? We've seen this Randy before. You can't beat this Randy Orton. Now, Cody wasn't trying to hear none of that. At first, you could see his facial expressions changing back and forth. And then there's this little exchange where you see Cody and Stephanie get into a little heated spot where Cody tells Stephanie, hey, I may not be my father, but you're not your father either. And that right there, everybody knows the situation with Vince McMahon and, what he's done for this company, for years and years and years and what situation he is in right now. So for that to be said, and she didn't like it, she slaps him. Classic Stephanie McMahon slap. We've seen Stephanie slap people for years. She slaps the taste out of Cody. You see Cody kind of restrain himself a little bit, bite his tongue, shake his head like, okay, that was across the line. Goody two shoes, Cody. Says all of this. They go back and forth. And it was a really good spot because in the end, you thought they were about to come to blows. And then Cody says to her, real nice, he said, thank you. And then walks out of the ring in classic babyface Cody way. But, it's crazy about this because if everybody remembers, if you go all the way back to those times when Randy Orton was in his crazy mode, we saw Randy Orton just, DDT Stephanie, put her down for the count when he was with beef with Triple H. So that one was a very good segment to start the show. Sean Diva, what were your thoughts on that segment? Did you feel anything good about that segment when it came or when it happened?
Well, when it happened, I was like, because again, y'all know I'm new. I'm coming in. I'm only almost 2 years in. So when the music hit, I'm sitting up there like, who is
Who this?
this? Who is that? And my husband he was like, oh, that's Stephanie. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? What is happening? But when he did the low, Cody did that low blow about Vince, I was like, ooh, we going low. Or what are we doing here? But then I was sitting up here like, okay, what are we doing? Are you what you okay? So you're warning him that he's not going to win. Oh, okay. We already know Randy is unhinged. For somebody that lives with 28 and a half people inside of her at all times, them voices, hey, you black out. You don't know what's going on. So yeah, I'm just interested to see how this story plays out. I just feel like it's going to be, I can't get WrestleMania can't get here fast enough because I want to see this. Give me more.
So they've been kind of plotting Orton and Cody Rhodes for a long time now. This is something that we knew that they were going to eventually do. We saw all the signs over the last couple of years. They were all friends, but every time there was a moment like a celebration, you can always see Randy kind of peek at the title. There's long-term storytelling right there. Just kept peeking at the title. Yes, they cool, but everybody knows that Randy was Cody's mentor when they were the group Legacy. And so that the peaking, and then when it all come to fruition, this storyline built itself. So it's going to be a good match. The question is, will they let Randy go over? Because right now with the fans, everybody's still siding with Randy. I mean, even Cody is getting booed when he's beating up on Randy, and I'm like, it's just so funny how all of it's played out.
It's good. That's good storytelling. That is good storytelling.
Good storytelling. So it's going to be fun to see how that goes. The next big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we had the tag team match, Austin Theory and Logan Paul, the Vision, taking on Uso. And I hate the fact that they changed their music. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there now. I hate the new music. So go back to it's
Same.
day one ish. I need to go back to that. I do not understand this remix version, but I'm gonna let that fly. So they come out, they're having a great match, to be honest with you. This is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then a moment happens where Logan Paul is on the outside. I show Speed, as you see here, one of the greatest streamers in the world, top two. It's him and Kai Cenat, let's just be honest, and maybe you throw Drewski or whoever else in there, but they're top two. And so there's a moment where Logan Paul's mom is in there, and she's trying to pull out the brass knucks from her purse to give to Logan Paul. And he's hugging up all on the mom and hugging up on Asho Speed. And Asho's like, hey, man, get off of me. And next thing you know, he's pulling Asho over the barricade onto the floor. What happens when that happens? These brass knucks hit the floor. And then, Logan Paul gets tossed to the side by LA Knight. Then Astro Speed says, I've got the power now. He picks up the brass knucks, and he must have thought it was Logan Paul. At least that's the way it seems. And he absolutely destroys LA Knight to the ground. And then shout out to Astro Speed, because he is selling. He's like, oh my God, what have I done? I can't believe I hit LA Knight. I did not mean to do this. But the result of that, we see new tag team champions. The Usos go down to the Vision. And I'll be honest with you, in a little bit of a surprise. I did not see the Vision winning this match. It's just not something I thought I would see, but it ended up happening. The Vision wins this match, and the Usos are no longer tag team champions heading into WrestleMania. It's the Vision. Now, Sean Diva, there was another scene right afterwards. They're celebrating. They got their arms in the air. Astro Speed's like, I don't know why I'm even in this mix. They go backstage. They're talking, and they're like, hey, man, look what's happening here. You're going to go out and celebrate. Astro Speed's like, look, man, this is not what I wanted. And then Paul Heyman pulls up and says, you know what, man? You go take that man out to eat. Don't worry, you're going to be protected by the Vision. Now, with that being said, we did see that day before yesterday, I don't think the Vision is doing much protecting, because while Astro Speed is doing his show, guess who shows up? Yeah. LA Knight comes out and has a nice heart-to-heart and then throws this man into his own streaming camera and rolls out. Sean Diva, a lot went on in that. But what were your thoughts from that whole situation? Because I thought it was chaotic, but somehow I've kind of enjoyed it a little bit.
No yeet. No yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet. Because immediately when I heard the music, I was like, oh, they're not going to win. I immediately knew they were not going to retain the titles. And I'm sitting up there watching, and I'm like, okay, so ISO Speed. I don't like none of it. I don't like any of it. None of it. I didn't like any of it. Like, where are we going from here? What? So y'all gonna put the tag team titles on them to do what with? Austin Theory and Logan Paul, what are they gonna do? And then one thing that just really grind my gears, any other time if something major happens, why didn't the Usos didn't they have nothing backstage? What, they went on like little hurt puppy dogs and that's it? That's all? Like, what are we doing? This is not and don't get me, it's nice to have these stars in, but y'all are taking things away from the real wrestlers, the real people that matter, the people that's in catering, that's sitting like, give me my shot. Like, why? This week has been, for wrestling, for me, for WWE, they have let me down this whole week. They
Yeah,
let
it's
me down
unfortunate.
last week, and it's just
They let
carry
you down
over.
some more. They let you down for a second straight week. And look, it's crazy because when you see what they kind of did here, I was just like, why is this happening? Why would you make this move? Now, Astro Speed, the Jelly Rolls, I will give both of these guys at least this much credit. When you go back in the day and you look at how celebrities, when they would come on there, maybe the most minimal training in the match, they get a couple punches in, they may clothesline the guy. But Jelly Roll and Astro and Bad Bunny, those guys are coming in and at least trying to learn the business. Like they're taking time off their schedule to be. I want to be decent in the rings. I will give them at least that much. I did see Astro Speed, with Randy Orton training a couple months ago. I thought he did a pretty good job. But this is leading to either two things. Astro Speed versus LA Knight at WrestleMania, which I guess, and I would be intrigued by it, but why? Okay, LA Knight went from probably being a number one, a title contender to fighting Astro Speed at WrestleMania. That could be one element. The other thing I could see, and I don't know who said it, but they said it could be a triple, not triple threat, 6-man tag where you add LA Knight with the Usos and then Astro Speed with the Vision. That seems maybe a little bit more logical.
That
But
would
that
be
means the titles are
interesting.
not, yeah, but then the titles are not on the line. And so the Vision will have the titles past that. So that part, I could see that maybe happening. I will say this though, as much as I love the Usos, I saw a video clip of the Vision celebrating their victory, and
Hmm.
they're all outside. And Logan Paul's trying to feed my man or giving him the crab. He's got a whole steak. I think they're going to be very entertaining tag team champions. That's if they let them, if WWE lets them run the title reign. But they don't do good storylines with anything mid card at all. Heck, even with the championships, they just in general. But it could be interesting. I want to hold judgment. I want to hold judgments to see how they do, but I don't know.
I'm gonna give it a chance. Trust me, I give stuff a chance. I might in the moment, I might not understand it, I might not like it. But then, okay, you did this pivot, so sell it to me. Make me draw me into the story to be
Right.
invested. But like you said, with championships, everything, y'all after they get it, y'all don't know what to do with them.
I
Yes.
hate that, and I've been saying it for months. It's a lost art in building title reigns. I think the whole thing in WWE now, or just maybe wrestling in but definitely WWE, is the shock factor. What can I put on social media to get the most clicks and get the most attention in, instead of building good storylines for wrestling fans? I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be such a great payoff, and that's the part that I have been concerned about, for the last couple of years. Excuse me, the last really good storyline in the title reign. There was two of them. Gunther had a solid one when he was like IC champ for a long, long time. And then, of course, Roman in his 3 years of champion, because everybody could not wait to see who was going to take the title. So they have to get back to that. Now, swinging on to more to Raw, then we've got La Premiere, the first, coming out in the all black. Now, look, a man can only be a man so much. La Premiere
Hey,
was
look,
looking amazing. Oh my God. I said, okay, girl, I see you. All black cat suit comes out. Liv Morgan was over here talking trash. I mean, she said some pretty nasty things about
mhm.
this girl mom. And so they come out there, and Stephanie's got the chair. She's about to let Liv have it. And who comes out of nowhere? Roxanne Perez is back in the mix. I'm a big Roxanne Perez fan. It took me a while to get into the Roxanne Perez fandom, and I still think she should be the one facing AJ Lee at WrestleMania for the IC title. But I'm gonna let that one fly as well. But Roxanne comes back, and it's a beatdown of La Primera. That just it's brutal, and it just goes on for a few minutes, and at the end, La Primera is knocked out, laid out. Liv is smiling. Roxanne Perez looks hungrier than ever coming back from the injury. And I'm just like, wow, watch out. So this storyline is also, to me, starting to get some legs on it. There's been a lot of trash talk between these two. This is probably one of the matches I will say has been built properly. Next, we have the Irresistible Forces. First of all, shout out to Nia and Lash for just their matchticity, if that's even a word, has been on point. Their outfits have been great together, and they just work well together. They got good chemistry. So they're having this title match with Lyra and Bailey, which to me is another forced tag team, but by all means, this match is going on, and it was a great match. Then all of a sudden, you see Queen Charlotte along with Alexa Bliss, and then the Bellas come out, and now they're talking trash. This is going back and forth. And then what ends up happening is, guess what? The title match that Lyra and Bailey goes astray. Then we see Charlotte and Bailey attack the Irresistible Forces, and now it's just a beatdown all the way around. It just gets extremely chaotic. And in the end, the Irresistible Forces are beat down, and it was just a chaotic way to kind of continue this storyline where it looks like we're leading to Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match at WrestleMania. Then we move on, and we see this. The Ruler, Obafemi, and Brock Lesnar face off one more time. I'm telling you, Sean Diva, you can. Every time Oba comes to the ring, every time Oba comes to the ring, and you can't help it. You know, you got kids, you got old ladies, everybody's just getting it in. So he comes to the ring, and him and Brock are facing off against each other. And just when you think it's about to take a left turn, Triple H pulls up in the ring and says, "Hey guys, gotta wait till Mania." And they go back and forth, and Brock gets mad, and he goes and picks up a step like, "I'm gonna throw this at you." And it just once again kind of builds what I think, and I get your opinion on this, I think could be a WrestleMania night one. Like, this could be the main event, and I would be okay with it. What were your thoughts on the whole segment with Brock and Oba?
Anything with Oba, I absolutely love it. It just they keep showing his dominance, and that's what I love. I love, love, love. And I mean, Brock is he holding his with them throwing people, everybody throwing the security guards. Man, I was cackling, not laughing, cackling at all of it. Because it's just like,
yeah. So and that's the part that I kind of missed. I'm glad you brought that up. So when Oba's coming in the ring, open it up, you can see the intensity, right? Next thing you know, the security guard said, "No, sir, you can't come in here." And my man says, "Get out of here." And if you ever seen that guy there's a guy on and I can't even think of his name, but there's a guy on Facebook, and it's one of the reels, and he does like wrestling reels, and he does all of these quick things like he's like, "Turn off that light." And that's the first thing I thought about. Oba just throws him, and he just turn off that light, and he hits the ground. And then, one of our glorious GMs, and look, shout out to Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, because I love them as wrestlers.
mhm,
I thought that, poor what's my guy's name?
Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce, who has just been, just not terrible at his job, but he can't keep anything under control. And Aldis has been that way lately too. So he's like, "Hey man, what do you think you're doing?" Obafemi, "Get off me." He throws, just shoves
I
him.
laughed too hard. I laughed too hard.
It was hilarious.
Ooh, you should have just left it alone. Should left him alone.
It should have just left him alone. And then the next thing you know, after all of this, we go on Twitter and it says, "Oba, find me." I'm like, you know what? Shame on you, Adam Pearce. But I get it. He tossed you 57 feet. I would find him too. But Sean Dave, I'm telling you, I feel like this is the match that is just the energy from it has to be night one's main event.
I would love that. I would love, love that. I mean, it's over. You can't. It's nothing now. What tickled me, when me and my husband, we watch everything wrestling related together. When Triple H ran out, he was like, "All right, Triple H, you got a heart condition. You got a heart condition. Hey, don't be doing that and everything." And I just got tickled or whatever. But I'm like, you coming out to stop them? Okay, it's nice to see you, but let them go.
Yeah. Just
when I tell you, I can't. I can't wait. I can't. Ooh, that's one thing. One of the matches that I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be locked in, loaded, have a good little drink in my cup, and I don't even know what kind of cuss words are gonna fly out. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be. Woo!
WWE, you got one chance to
don't mess this up.
And look, Brock Lesnar has been let's see, he came to WWE in 2003. I was just graduating high school. So Brock has been around for a long time. Brock has always been this polarizing figure. He's been a great champion. He doesn't lose often, but we know that he's getting towards the end of his career, and you've got a chance to elevate Obafemi through the roof.
Right.
Grannies, kids, white, black, lavender, Latino, you name it. He has generated with every single person. I don't see nobody talking negative about him. You go on post online and people are like, well, I don't like him that much. No, everybody's like, who? They got whatever it is. They love Obafemi. They sometimes say, you take a rocket, shoot it on in the air. This is what Obafemi is.
What
So we
Eric
move
always say,
on.
they give me the rock chills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. For Eric, go ahead. Now, y'all know The Rock, my guy. The Rock is my guy. And I've been a Rock fan since I was 12, 10 years old. I got to see him in person a couple of times. So every time I see my boy, I'm like, yeah. But anywho, we move on. And Penta's been doing this thing over the last couple of weeks. Becomes IC champion. He's doing what we saw Carmelo do on over on SmackDown, and that's defend the title and have good matches. Shout out to Kofi Kingston in this match. Comes in, does his thing. Kofi Kingston, a multiple-time Intercontinental and U.S. champion himself, former WWE champion. So this is a very good win for Penta to defeat Kofi Kingston, but it was just a really good match. Makes you a little bit more excited for the ladder match that's coming up in a couple of weeks. I think they still need to add one person to that match. I just don't know who that should be. Probably should have been Dom and Finn, but that is what it is. But shout out to Penta getting the win in that match. Then we move to the next thing. And then we saw Adam Pearce come out and say, Paul, I hope you read your email. Hope you read your newsletter, because if you really paid attention, then you will understand that Seth Rollins has been medically cleared. I'm like, oh, so Seth Rollins has been medically cleared. Then you see the shock on Paul Heyman's face, like, ooh, what are you talking about here? Now, he did warn him earlier in the night. He said, hey, Paul, this man's medically cleared. You got to watch out. He tried to tell him, read the email, check it out. He tried to foreshadow what's going to happen. So Paul's shocked. And then you hear, and here comes Seth Rollins through the ropes, all black, looking clean, sharper than a I ain't had nothing else at Too Loud Attack, which I don't even think is a real thing. But he comes in and he just tags Paul Heyman in the back with the chair. Then he sets him up for the curb stomp. And we see our man Seth Rollins in the corner, waiting for greatness, waiting to put Paul Heyman down for the count. And then, out of nowhere, the ring general comes in. And look at my man Gunther's face, just choking out, putting down Seth Rollins, putting him to sleep. And the whole time, he's just screaming, sleep, sleep, sleep. And then it's consistent, sleep, 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 sleep. And then at the end, he looks up, points at the WrestleMania sign. And then, Sean Diva, we get a match that I didn't even know I wanted. I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it. I'm like, oh, I think I want to see this.
Nah, I'm just like, man. And maybe the excitement, I was just like, okay. And then where I got stuck at, y'all, WWE does stuff and then you just don't do it. Why didn't you? Y'all had the little masked men running around. Why didn't you continue?
The buddies. Where are the buddies when you need them?
Missy Elliott style. I mean, why didn't you just continue that? But I mean, it's Gunther, it's Seth, so we'll see. I mean, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree with my man D Bland here 100%. Don't care about, there's no build up, and they've done a lot of this don't build up stuff. And what we've seen the last couple of years is like, hey, let's just, we got to put some people on the card for WrestleMania that are some of our stars and see what happens. Now, if this was for a title, I'd probably be a little bit more intrigued. I'm intrigued because of the way they set this up. But now, how can you build it the next 2 weeks to really make me want to see this match? But I am intrigued. But I don't like the fact that you just out of nowhere now all of a sudden is Gunther a Paul Heyman guy out of nowhere? Is he the new
Yeah.
leader of the Vision? You know, because those are the start the things you got to kind of like. Okay, so is that what that's leading to? We don't know. So the next couple of weeks will kind of get us in the place to is that the case? Is that what's going on? And like I said, there was a part of me that was like, oh, that's different. Then I'm like, I don't know, but that's how they do things, and that's how they do things. Like maybe, maybe not,
Throw it
but
to the
there it
wall,
is.
up to the wall to see if it sticks. Basically, at this point, let's see what just
Exactly.
works
I said,
and
why don't
what
we just
doesn't
throw
work.
so and so in there and see what happens? So that's what we got. We got Gunther pointing at the sign, and I'm guessing we're getting Gunther versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. You got to have two of
Yes.
your stars in there. We'll toss them in there night one, I guess, and see what happens. And then we had a match between Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez. And what made this match very interesting is we saw Io Sky. There was one point where Oscar, who just be berating Kyrie, I mean, just giving Kyrie every bit of the heat. She just reminds me, and I've never seen a Japanese mother in person do something like this, but I feel like if there was a Japanese mother, this is how she would treat her child. And that's the way she was treating Kyrie until Io tries to save her, and Io lands extremely badly on her neck. And I was very
Mhm.
concerned about her because when she got back up, you can kind of see that she was dazed a little bit. And
Mhm.
then Kyrie checks in on her, and she was like, "I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to help you." And good thing they realized, hey, we got to clean this match up quick. And then Raquel Rodriguez comes in, puts the bomb on her, gets the win. Nice win for Big Sexy. It was really good to see that. Now, last things to talk about here in Raw, the tribal chief throwing the ones in the air. Roman Reigns is here. So Roman Reigns out there talking his talk. And then out of nowhere comes CM Punk coming to the ring full speed. And these two ain't got nothing nice to say about each other. It's just fisticuffs right off the bat. So there's a nice little exchange on the outside. Roman spears, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Dykstra. He speared somebody to heaven and he sent him on to glory. And then next thing you know, Punk took advantage of it, puts the go to sleep on Roman. Roman is down for the count. And then a couple of seconds later, with help of Jamie Noble, by the way, so shout out to Jamie Noble, help him pick Roman into the air to power bomb him through the table. And as our man E Knight would like to say, that was the finish. What was your thoughts on that Punk and Roman segment at the end?
I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all talking to each other. And let me and see. I think that's where I get hung up with the storyline when Roman came back and everything else, and with the trash talking. He said he called all the Samoans up. When are we going to get the other Samoans to come and do something? That's what I'm like. Okay, what's going to happen? How are y'all going to incorporate this? He called. He said, it, I, he said it. I'm calling it when if he has a problem with me, he has a problem with all of us. So that's where the storyline could be like just come out of anywhere. So y'all gonna let Roman get beat up, and Jay and Jimmy, y'all were all invested. Y'all lost your match anyway. Y'all might
For
as well
sure.
have came out there and helped him anyway. It's just, yeah. I
Yeah.
and my husband all the time. He's like, it's building up to WrestleMania, love, because he knows I get mad. I'm like, he's like, babe, it's building up to WrestleMania, and I was like, I don't like it. I'm tired of y'all talking. I'm tired of y'all beating up on each other. Show me something I have not seen. That's
Right.
how you get people hooked in. Show me something. Okay, the first week, okay, tit for tat, but let's right, right, not bland. Yes, it's like, okay, y'all gonna trash talk each other. One's gonna have one up on somebody else this week and next week. Stop. Unless you're gonna show me something different, show me something different. And that's why I'm stuck and I'm fixated. He called for all the Samoans. Give us all the Samoans. That's good storytelling.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And see, I agree with you there. So my thing is, and this has been happening for the last couple of years, they've done this let's talk our way to WrestleMania. They actually did it when Cody and Roman were going around the first time. It's just a lot, and maybe they're protecting the event. They don't want to get hurt before the main event. Okay, I guess I kind of get that, right? I kind of get that. But if you're tossing them through tables now, that's not the whole case. I look at it and say, uh, nostalgia wise, if you go back and just look at some of the buildups to WrestleMania, all this talking wasn't happening. It was more fighting than it was talking. But obviously, CM Punk, one of his best things, he's a talker. He can go in there, he can talk like the best. Roman has become a better talker over the years. He had some really tough struggles in the beginning, but over the years, he's become a really good talker. But every week, same segment. I know you're coming out. I know you're doing this. What they did a couple of years ago when Roman and Cody were going at each other, they did do one thing different that I liked. They did like a vignette style movie. They walked to the middle of the stadium, at a football stadium, and they started talking trash, or they just kind of stared down. It was a really nice moment. I thought it was a good, different take. I would rather you throw me a couple of video packages in there, really nice video packages that to kind of set this up. But they've been doing it all the way around. It's different. It's like it's not just them. We've seen it with,
Shade.
we saw La Primera. We saw it with,
Yeah.
that, every major matches, they're talking their tails off to get to these matches, but there's not enough maybe some physical stuff, maybe them being in matches and the interference. I think maybe just a little bit. They need something else to go along with it. And unfortunately, it's just not hitting on where we needed to hit on just yet. So we'll see. And where are the Samoans? They're all on SmackDown. They talked about your uncles too. Where y'all at? Y'all too busy fighting the Wyatt Six, but well too busy fighting the Wyatt Six. But we'll get into that later.
We're gonna get into
But
that.
yeah, overall, I probably give Raw like 6, 7. No, I'm joking. But probably around that range. It wasn't. It's a get through show, but you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to knock my socks off my feet so I can get ready for the greatest show on earth, and that is WrestleMania. So let's hope that you do that right. So we're Raw ending now, ladies and gentlemen. We got to head on over to the middle of the week, but probably to me, the best consistent show in all of WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Chef Shawn Michaels to cook it up on NXT. Man, Sean Diva, we had quite the week on NXT. Eric knows, HB Prince knows, Garden State Warrior, our guy, who's giving you a lot of studying to kind of
Yes,
get into. He threw
y'all
a lot of
giving me
matches
so
at
much,
you.
and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
You're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be one match a night till Mania. That's the only way you're gonna get through it. One match till Mania. So, all right, let me go get my mandatory wrestling match in and go from there. But we all know it's either here or it's here. They always find a way to keep me entertained, and NXT does an amazing job of that. So we
They
start
do.
things off. We start things off with a 6-way match. We saw TNA champion Mike Santana team up with OTM to take on Dark State. This is actually a pretty good match. OTM and Dark State have been really getting into it the last couple of weeks. We've seen them beating each other outside, throwing people into production trucks and all that fun stuff. But it's been a really nice rivalry so far, and Dark State has been on the bad end of this rivalry. But this was a nice win for OTM and Mike Santana, the TNA champion, up there in New York, making things happen. Very, very, very nice win for OTM. Next, we saw a tag team match between Los Americanos and the Birthright, Stacks and Connor, going at it, and Los Americanos gets the win. They're going to get a tag team title match at Stand and Deliver. Now, knowing who's under the Los Americanos masks, because I do know who's under there, or at least who's supposed to be under there. Probably two of the greatest NXT stars of all time underneath that mask, making things happen and getting win. So if it was Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, who we believe it is, that would make me more happy to see them out there. But Los Americanos, they get the win over the Birthright, which is, to me, I will say real quick, if you're gonna build the Birthright up, why not have the Birthright win this match? Like, you got Regal, one of the greatest just in-ring performers, heels of all time, along with Fit Finley, one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. And their sons are in this. And what do? You said, we good. We're gonna go ahead and give it to Los Americanos. I'm like, but why? But why? I really just don't know. I'm not gonna let it get me upset because it's just too early for that.
They're just
Next,
entertaining for me. They're just entertainment to watch. I just get
right?
tickled.
Yeah, because you see him out there, and then you see our guy Grande Americano, the one that the
Imposter. I call him the
the
imposter.
imposter. I call him the one that the Mexican people like. The Mexican people love uh Ludwig version of
Yeah.
there, and OG is more of the Americanized one because
Right.
Ludwig gets booed when OG gets. It's so weird the dynamic. And that's why I will give WWE credit because they switched the mask pretty much. And when a Grande Americano that is loved by the Mexican people wears the Mexican colors, and then OG wearing the United States colors. It makes sense. I'll let that fly. But at some point, they're going to have to end all of this, and let's see all of those great superstars, the Chad Gables of the world, who's absolutely phenomenal, the Ludwig Kaiser, who I think could be an Intercontinental champion for like a year or so. He's
Agreed.
great on the mic, and so whenever they decide to let that happen, and then of course Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, who are just amazing champions on NXT, and have kind of been just thrown away on the main roster level. So we'll see about that. Then Sean Diva, whew, my girls. And
I love
Eric, I
this.
can hear him. I can hear Eric now. Lonnie, because look, Lonnie has been killing it for months. I mean, for over a year or two, Lonnie has been doing amazing things. Her and Jada Parker. This is the second time, as Eric said earlier in his video, that these two have had a budding rivalry, and they work so well in the ring together. This was a really good match. Lonnie has been putting out top, top flight matches for a minute now. And every match she's been in, she's either made that person look really great or she's been in there and she's got a nice win. She was TNA champion. But just to see these two kind of going at it, Jada got her off the top ropes with a flip and she fell face flat. And then we saw Jada Parker hit her with the hypnotic. Then after that, I guess her new finishing move, the Deja Vu, drops a little bit version of D'Lo Sky High, drops her to the ground and gets the pin. Now I know these are my girls. I love to see them doing well. What were your thoughts on this match?
These are the people from NXT that I really. It's a couple. It's only a few. And when I really started watching, or my husband had it on, and I was like, oh, I like these ladies. Why is they still in NXT? Why? They should
Right.
be gone. But my husband always brings me back to reality, as he always does, and bursts my bubble. He said, well, think about it. NXT, they're the money makers. They're not ready to let them go yet. Because if they
Yep.
let them go, I said, well, then that's their problem. You need to be reaching back, getting your people, and cultivating those people so those people can move on. Those two ladies are a powerhouse. Think of what all the things they could do on the main. That's
Right.
it. That's all. I love the match. I love both of them. I actually, or whatever, my fish, because I got a beta fish. I named it Keelani because I like Keelani.
Lonnie.
Keelani.
I will say this though. When they have to face off against each other, I kind of get torn because I really like both of them. So I don't like them to face each other. I really don't. If they were facing each other for a title, I would be torn. I would truly be torn. I still think WWE has done it. I think every night will probably say this is an injustice that Jada Parker has not been a champion at least once in her time there. It is an absolute devastating thing that she has not been champion at least once. Now, shout out to Kalani. They really like her. You can tell Shawn Michaels is through the roof with her. And I think she's picking up a lot of Shawn Michaels traits, being that person that can carry a lot of matches. She's great on the mic. She's doing a whole bunch of good stuff. But it's just like you can tell Miss Parker has this vibe with the crowd that it's just like, bro, what are we waiting for? We saw her come out at Royal Rumble a year before last, and she got a nice little pop at the
And
Rumble.
did.
Right. And so her still being back there kind of baffles me. But you know, but it also worries me if you move her to the next level, is she going to get, done dirty, which we've seen happen. So it's like a part of me is like, I'd rather stay on NXT and become NXT champion because I know she's going to get treated right at NXT, or do she go to the main roster and then they forget how to use her? And
That's the only thing. You
that can't
got to
happen.
be able to utilize your talent. I mean, I could see both of them it going any kind of way. I always have different scenarios in my head of how they could be utilized, but yeah, but they
Yeah.
are phenomenal. Ladies, chef's kiss to you. Y'all are doing y'all thing. And
Yes.
yeah, can't wait to see what else is going to be
Yeah.
happening with them.
Most definitely. I think there's one last scenario before we move on. I saw yesterday that Jade was talking about Jada.
Yeah,
And I
I would love
said,
that. And
I
that's
was
what I
like,
was alluding to. I would
mm,
love that and add her to her faction or make that
yeah,
be a surprise thing at that would make that's
WrestleMania.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I was thinking the same thing. I said, when I saw that, I'm like, this could be a plant seed where she kind of threw it out there, tells her how much she loves her, and then which I think this is what's going to happen in this match, real quick. So you got Io obviously going to come in and help when they go, and then Bianca, if Bianca decides to come back, if she
That
can, we'll go back and be like, oh my God, all of a sudden the odds are even, and then when you think the odds are even, here comes Jada Parker, hypnotic, put her down, and then our girl Cargill moves on with the title. That's my scenario. I'm just throwing it
I
out
have
there.
so many. I have so
You got
many
so
in
many?
this equation. But that's my dark horse. I feel like okay, EO is coming to help Rhea.
Right.
EO is coming to help Rhea. Where were we last year at WrestleMania? Where were
Triple
those
threat.
ladies at?
Triple threat main
So
event.
what it would be fitting for Bianca right now for her to come back and do it and I love Jade. Don't get me wrong, I love Jade, but I feel like that would cost Jade the match, and then that will start a story that will start back up that whole storyline. One can only
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. There's so many, and that's what I say. I don't. There have been another one of the matches that have been kind of built up through talking. I'm that. I'm that. We've been hearing that for the last couple of weeks from both sides or whatever. But I
Tired of
think that,
hearing it.
yeah, depending on how they do this, they could still make something magic out of that. But I guess we shall see. As we move along, NXT, we got, like I said, Stand and Deliver is happening tonight. And the big match in Stand and Deliver for the NXT Championship, we got Tony D, D'Angelo, aka for me, NXT Sting, Crow Sting at that. And then you got Ricky Saints, former NXT champion, uh, Ethan Page, former NXT champion, and then the current NXT champion, Joe Hendry, who doesn't wear anything but blue, black, and white. And I love Joe Hendry because that's my dude. But man, one time I want to see him wear something different, just once. There's got to be more in the wardrobe than the three colors that he's rocking. But that's besides the point. Joe's my dude. So we get a really good thing going on between these two. They're talking it out, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose during this. We saw at one point it looked like it was going to be Tony D and Joe Hendry putting, Ethan and Saints through the table, but then some tomfoolery happens, and then all of a sudden it's just Tony D throwing Ricky Saints through the table, and somehow Ethan Page was able to reverse and drop Joe Hendry through the table. Then Tony D and Ego are going at it full speed in the corner. It's just all chaos breaking out for this match. They've been setting up for this fatal four-way for weeks. This is going to be this is going to be a very interesting match. I'm really intrigued to see who leads out with this title, because there's a part of me that says Joe Henry will hold on, but NXT has been flopping titles lately, so you never really know how that happens. But then again, Tony D is that one that has never had the title. And so he's been in North American champion, but he's the only one that has never been NXT champion. So that's where that's going to be very interesting. And the next thing we saw, it's so funny every time I see him, but we saw Casper Troy and Keanu Crash Out Carver, as I like to call him. Crash Out Carver is just an insane man. So he's out there. These two are getting into it. At one point, we saw Carver go to the outside and try to confront Booker T. Now, you know Jasper Troy and Booker T are close. They try to confront him. Crash Out Carver already came in and interrupted his match a couple of weeks ago, or interrupted Booker T Appreciation Night. So the beef is there. This is extending all the way from LFG. From I don't know if it was last year or this year, but this has been going on for a minute between Carver and Booker T. So then at one point after this, Troy gets him back in the ring. Troy goes for the pin. He kicks out. Now Troy doesn't like the fact that he kicked out. He goes to Josh Briggs, who is the special guest referee in this match, who I'm just not a fan of Josh Briggs. I'm sorry. I won't call him a big waste of space, but he's just there. Eric knows how I feel about him. HP Prince knows how I feel about him. He's just there. But he's in this match. Troy pushes him. And Briggs said, nah, bro, we not going to have none of that. He kicks the taste out of Trash Troy's out of his mouth. And then Crash Out Carver is the one that gets the win. But before that is over, Carver's got some choice words for Briggs, and Josh Briggs is standing strong at the end of this one. Then we swing over and we got Tatum Paxley, and we've got my girl. I love me some Blake Monroe. I love me some Blake Monroe. It's just everything about it. And I've been a big fan of Blake Monroe. So these two are battling it out, and they're just fighting in the ring over the North American Championship. Now, Blake took the belt from Tatum a while ago, and she just act like she don't want to give her the belt back. So they go back and forth. It's a back and forth thing. And then Tatum was getting the upper hand, and somehow Blake Monroe slides out of the ring, re-steals the belt, and she just won't give her belt back. Because Blake's in her eyes like, I should have never lost my title in the first place. But she goes out. So this will be another very interesting match tonight that I'm actually excited to see. I'm a big Blake Monroe fan. Then we head backstage where my man Crash Out Carver is just in full crash out mode. And, it's the craziest thing because he's back there having his interview with Stone. Or Stone is back there and he's like, look, man, I don't care. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a triple threat match between Carver and Briggs and Jasper Troy, and I believe that's going to be next week and not on Stand and Deliver. So that's supposed to be happening. But then all of a sudden, while this is happening, our girls, oh my God, Kalani is destroying Jada Parker in the back. Now look, we've been talking about crash outs, but Kalani has just been insane. When Kalani does something, she just does it right, and she was destroying our girl in the back.
I was giggling. I was like, oh, she got it. She got it. I said, she got her. Yeah, I was tickled. I was cackling in the corner.
I was like, oh, shoot. But that's why I say it's like, I don't like this violence between them. It's been great. Don't worry, like, as a good storyline, good match. I love it, but I don't like to see them beat up on each other. It really does. Like, come on, guys. Can you beat up on other folks?
Yeah, and you have those wrestlers that you just like, I'm not mad at either one of them because I like them so much, but then I don't want y'all fighting each other because then I don't want to pick a side. Like a mama with her two kids, your mama always have one favorite or the other, but she wants to try to keep it on level playing field. Yeah.
and that's how I felt. I'm just like, man, I don't know. But you know what? It is what it is. And they're still building this storyline up, but this would be even better if it was for a title. So Sean, like, you always cooking, but this could be it, man. Like that should be for a title, right? But I digress. As we move along in NXT, there she is, the NXT champion, out there with her team with Toxic Influence, and she's wondering why everybody is after her, why everybody wants a piece of her, why does everybody want this, and sitting in the back chilling, which I don't even know how she even deserves a title match if she ends up getting one. She just lost the North American title, but she's just sitting back there chilling. Oh, Izzy Dane. And she comes back up to her and she says, you know exactly why everybody wants a piece of you. And it's not because of these two, kind of throwing a shot of her Fatal Influence counterparts. And then she walks off. Then we go to the last match. We're trying to find out who's going to face JC Jane for the title at Stand and Deliver. This is a really good match between Lola Vice and Kendall Gray, who just moved up recently from Evolve, who's been putting on some really good matches. She was the Evolve champion. She goes in here And this match ends in a crazy, crazy way. It looks like Gray picks up the victory from the TV angle. But on the angle we did not see, it looks like Kendall also tapped at the same time that Gray got the pin. So this just starts a controversy. Nobody knows what's going on here. Everybody's trying to figure out. The referees, they get in the ring. They're fussing with each other. Hey, so and so won. No, this person won. Then the man, Sean, you know I'm cute. Hey, you know I'm sexy. Hey, you got the looks that drives the girls. Wow. Shawn Michaels comes to the ring. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Yeah, Shawn, my dude, he's
I
top
love
top
it.
two, top two for me, top two. But then we go to Shawn, and then the show ends this way. This is the finish where there's some controversy, and we don't know who's gonna face JC Jane tonight. It was a lot going on in NXT, but I don't know if you agree with me, Sean Diva, but looks like this is going to be a triple threat match.
Yeah, I mean, I was intrigued because I was like, wait a minute. I said, so who won and everything else? And then they showed the other angle, and I was like, this is good storytelling. This
Yes.
is what I like. This is what I like to see. Throw a twist in there that has me vested to be like, okay, I can't miss. But yeah, everything NXT, yeah, it's growing on me. Like I said, give me another month or two, and I'll probably be able to outtalk all I'll talk all of y'all, but I'm learning. I'm learning, and I appreciate all of y'all, all the nights because they're sending me, listen, y'all, they be sending me homework. Oh, you got to do this. You got to watch this. I'm like,
Yeah.
but y'all keep putting stuff on my plate. So
Say,
yeah,
this list is growing, y'all.
right. But it's so, I feel like NXT this week, you got it. Everything
Yep.
else, Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
NXT, you got the win from Sean Diva this week.
Yeah.
You were more interesting.
It's either here or there. It's right there good or it's great. This week was another solid episode. It's probably between good and great, so it's probably great or good. I don't know. But it was a really good episode. Once again, Sean does what he does best and he cooks up. And I will say this though, I can't wait to see what's next for NXT. Stand and Deliver is going to be good tonight. Now, before we move to SmackDown, one thing I wanted to tell you about the list that continues to grow for you. I do envy you a little bit, Sean Diva. I wish there was a way for me to go back in time and watch those matches like for the first time as a fan and not knowing what happened in the match, just to be able to sit and embrace what I'm seeing. So like I envy you because you're gonna get a chance to see like, okay, this is what they were talking about. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be amazing. You're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so good. And you're gonna start falling in love with people that you didn't know that you even liked. I'm like, this guy's cool. Now I see why they say this.
But yeah, and then it's that my husband, because I don't know what I was on. I was like, oh, they have all the WrestleManias. Let me go and start watching. He's like, we gonna do something with that. Do not. And everything. He's like, I don't want you to watch that because I want you to get your honest reaction because you don't know what's going on. So more to
Exactly.
come with that. But yeah, I and
I
he'll show
can't
me
wait.
little things here and there, and I'll be like, he's like, oh, I should not have showed you that because your reaction is priceless. But yeah, y'all keep giving me homework.
It's
Keep
gonna be
giving me
great. It's good.
homework.
Good homework. I'm not look. You gotta watch out for Russ. Russ is gonna overload you. I'm gonna try my best to give you a little bit at a time, but every now and then, once I know you done got it to a couple, I'll throw some more nuggets in there. But I'm gonna wait. But I'm gonna let Russ throw all the throwing at this time. All right, everybody. SmackDown. It's time to talk about which is supposed to be the best part of the end of the week. But according to Eric Knight, according to
No,
Sean Diva, and myself, I'm pretty
no
sure
yeet.
HP Prince feel the same. No yeet. It was not good, but we still got to talk about it. Let's talk about the somewhat solid or maybe okay hour, 2.5 hours of Friday Night SmackDown. Well, Friday Night SmackDown. Yeah, well, I guess might as well talk about it. First thing first. Now, this is interesting. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a little pissed off about this because, um, you know, everything starts off and, they're kind of a little bit of a confrontation. They're going back and forth. And then we find out who the man is that has been calling Randy Orton. And what pisses me off about it even more is that we find out this is TKO's decision. They thought, oh, this would be a great idea to have Pat be the person to call. And I know we got to get into. Well, I'm gonna get through the part first, and then we'll talk. But they Pat McAfee comes in here, and he just annihilates Cody Rhodes along with Randy Orton. This is a beatdown process. Then Pat goes in. Actually, a solid promo. What he's saying wasn't wrong. You're the golden boy. He pretty much was saying, hey, ticket sales are not great right now. For WrestleMania, he pretty much said ticket sales are not great right now. You got Randy Orton. Randy Orton should be enough alone to sell these tickets. You don't need this bum. Pretty much, he's just trashing Cody and telling you that Randy Orton's all you need in order to sell tickets for this and that. And they just go on and on and on and on. At the end of this, they stand over top of Cody, and I'm sitting here baffled. It was a very interesting exchange, but I will say I thought Pat cooked on what he said. But Sean Diva, Pat McAfee?
Because I was sitting up here. That was not my listen. I went over in my head. I was like, oh, it's nobody on the phone. Because, again, somebody with 28 and a half voices in them at all times. Yeah, some of those voices take over. I'm like, he's not talking to anybody. He's talking, he's talking to himself. He's talking to one of the voices. I would have did it. But when Pat McAfee, I said, huh? I was sitting up like, what are we doing? And nothing against Pat. He did basically say what we've been saying, but where are we going with this? What?
It was crazy. So this is what I thought. I said so a couple weeks ago they gave there was a former Legacy member Ted DiBiase Jr. who's been in trouble in court and all this stuff and did get acquitted for that scandal down in Mississippi with the food stamps. Brett Favre was also involved in that, but sometimes I'm not gonna say too much because I might get in trouble. But some people just get away with stuff. Yeah, some people get away with stuff that you'd be like, now how is that possible? But okay, anyway. So he gets off of there. There's a moment that he goes on social media and somebody was like, hey, you available on the 19th of April? And I'm like, now that phone call would have made sense to me because they all were in a group together. It was him, DiBiase, and Cody in Legacy when DiBiase and Cody were growing up in the business and Randy was the superstar and he was trying to get those guys over and help get them to the next level. Obviously, it worked for Cody because look what Cody is now. DiBiase, unfortunately, the opposite way. But if that had happened, that'd have made sense to me. If it was John Cena, that would have made sense to me. There's a couple other people that it could have been. Who else has beef? You know what? Kevin Owens, if he's healthy, would have made the sexiest last name in wrestling. I'm biased. Sexiest last name in wrestling, Kevin Owens. It could have been him. Would have made sense. Heck, it could have been Sami Zayn, and it would have made sense. Right? I mean, there's a couple people that have beef with Cody, and it would have made sense. But you said, you know what? I think we should go with Pat McAfee. Whew! Boy, I tell you what. There's a lot of ways they could have went with this. Former AEW stars that had beef with him, they could have brought his brother in. I don't know if his brother's still connected with AEW. It could have been anybody else. They went with Pat McAfee. And I don't hate Pat McAfee, but they went with Pat
McAfee. I don't either. But I just was like, huh? Right. I was like, this don't make. And then that's when from that point on, it just continued to go downhill.
Yep, Ricky Saints. Shout out to Bland. Ricky Saints could have been one of those people. You know what I'm saying? It could have been all ego. It could have been him. There's a couple people. It could have been. Shout out to BJ for joining us, man. So thank you, BJ, for tuning in. Of course, we see Eric Knight in the comments out there. The Knights will never be the same. So he's all in there. But it was just mind blowing to me that this is the route that they went. And I said, okay. So now you still got to try to find a way, once again, 2 weeks out, to try to sell me on why Pat McAfee makes sense in this situation. Now, they could easily fix this and say, oh, he was just a decoy. He was just one of the people I was talking to on the phone. You still have time to fix this. He could have been one of the people talking on the phone. Just one. let's hope that that's what the route they go. But I have
Or
literally
multiple voices. Because again,
multiple voices.
Randy has multiple voices. So Pat McAfee could be a voice, and then throw some other people in there to salvage this. Because at this point,
Yeah,
that's the only person he was talking to.
yeah.
Okay, I'm
I mean,
done.
there's got to be something. I mean, heck, it could be Ric Flair. Ric Flair had beef with Cody Rhodes' dad. Randy Orton. There's so many people we could name, but I'm not. Pat McAfee though.
Let's go. Let's go. My blood pressure is rising.
My
Let's
pressure.
go.
My pressure. Next thing, we had my girl Meechin. Now, look, we always give shout out to Meechin. Meechin is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Shout out to her. She went to Virginia Union. They're right up the street from me. So HBCU in the building. So I love Meechin. I actually like her being in this faction. This is typical, you're the side person in the faction. You lose to Rhea. That makes sense. She's not being Rhea. But she loses this match to Rhea. And then you see my girl B-Fab, who I've loved to see her growth over the last couple of years. She's really has grown. I mean, she's still growing, but I really love what I've seen for B-Fab. Shout out to the outfit. I can't dress well myself, but B-Fab was killing this that 90s style shirt that she had going on there. I love that. I love that from B-Fab. But they beat up on her, right? Everything's looking good. The queen comes in the ring, in all her glory. She's about to drop Rhea Ripley for another time, and then Sky comes flying to the ring, neck injury and all. So she must be healthy because she ran to the ring fast,
Right.
and she must be okay. She comes in there, they clear the ring, and the former tag team champions end up on top. What were your thoughts on this moment? I mean, this wasn't miserable, right?
It wasn't miserable. It was okay. Shout out to, because again, I'm new. It was a really good match. Meechin, I see you girls. You have that moment with wrestlers, like you be like, okay, I'm watching them or whatever, and then it's something that they do or it's a move that they make, and you be like, all right, girl, I see you. I see you. It was it was good, but where are we? That's my whole thing. Where are we going with this? Where
Yeah.
are we going with this? Make it make sense, because either y'all can do a good job with this story or you're gonna fumble it. And y'all track record right now, y'all gonna fumble this.
Yeah,
I
man.
just
And it's like it's in the early. I know it's only 2 weeks away, but it still feels like it's in the early stages. A lot of these things can be fixed between now and WrestleMania. That last week of like leading into Mania, we got the next. They have to come in hot. Like, you got to make me want to go spend $35 to watch WrestleMania. That's the way I feel. Like, and you got to make me want to spend $35 to go watch WrestleMania or any wrestling fan. That's going to be very important, or with the weeks leading up to it. Then we head to this. Whew, boy, look,
so tired
I
of this nonsense.
love, I love, I love Solo. I love Tama. I miss yeah. I miss all of that because I thought that was
Hmm.
great. I missed that Tama. I like this MFT. To be honest with you, the group that they formed, I like the group. The problem is they don't know what to do with him, and now it's gotten stale. And and excuse my language, but this damn lamp. And Bray Wyatt is one of my top 10. I need to also say that before I go into what I'm about to say. Bray Wyatt is one of my top 10. That's my dude. Best one of the best to do it on the mic. Storytelling, name it. That's the guy. But if they don't end this lamp thing, we're gonna have to start beating people up. Anyway, so we get into this. It's Tama versus Uncle Howdy. I'm sorry, going to these tangents when I see stuff. So they go into this, and here comes Solo out with this damn lamp, and they're going into it. They get into it. Uncle Howdy gets the win, right? And so Tama is pissed. He's like, man, give me this damn lamp. We don't need this lamp. Why are we still dealing with this lamp? Takes the lamp, leaves it on the ring. They're just getting into it about it. Thomas trying to tell him, it looks like they're setting up Thomas to leave the MFTs. That's the vibe that we're getting from this. This has
Hmm.
been going on for a couple weeks. But, Uncle Howdy gets to leave with the lamp. Thank God. I'm glad he got the lamp back because it's
I'm
just
tired.
it's insane at this point. Just tired about it. He gets the lamp back, but a very interesting exchange between these two in the ring, which will kind of lead to maybe something interesting over the next couple of weeks. That dude in the blue shirt in the front row does not like the fact that he got that lamp back. You see that guy right there in the front beside the
Yeah,
guy in the wrestling, that black guy? He doesn't look thrilled that he got the lamp back. He looks upset.
I'm tired of that.
So then we had another match where Aleister Black, who's been on a little bit of a hot streak lately, gets the win over Matt Cardona. Black mask to the face, and Matt Cardona, who I think is just happy to be near his wife, and I'm okay with that too. I'm a big Zack Ryder fan. I would like to see him get a couple of more wins in there, but if he's okay with jobbing, getting that check, being near his wife, I can't be mad at that man for that. But he's been putting on some pretty decent matches since coming back, but a nice win for Aleister Black. Then Cody comes back out. Why is he still on the mic? He comes back out. He says some crazy stuff. Calls Pat McAfee out, calls his crew out. So I guess now all of a sudden all of the people on the Pat McAfee show are going to be involved in this match. Why are we making this worse than it needs to be? Why are we making this worse than it needs to be? So Cody comes out there, says some more stuff. He rolls out. I was just tired of it at this point. Then we had some tag team action going on. There was Lyra and all of them going on at it. There was some battles going on there. All attack, well, minus the Bellas. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were out there, and then the Irresistible Forces, they come out there. They do their thing. They clear the ring, being the baddies that they are, doing their thing, making things look good in the tag team division. Then we swing to another tag team match where the tag team titles on the line. We had Damian Priest and R-Truth taking on who was Miz tag team partner? Why am I having a brain freeze?
Kit Wilson.
Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson. So this match is going on. Our man R-Truth is like, man, Danhausen pops up out of nowhere. He's holding the tag team. And for some reason, Truth thought it was a good idea to tag Van Housen in. Look at the surprise in Damian Priest's face on the outside of the ring. Damian Priest is still trying to figure out why they're tag team champions, which makes this completely funny. He's like, we're tag champs. I don't know why this is happening, but that's what's happening. So Danhausen gets the hot tag. He comes in the ring. Miz will pull the referee in front of Danhausen right at the time that Danhausen decides he was trying to curse the Miz, but he throws the referee in front of him, and the referee catches the curse. With that being said, there's some struggling. He tries to go and pin. The referee can't use his right arm. And when they're trying to get the pin, he can't make any pins. So then, my man, shout out to my man Joe Tessitore, he's screaming, use the left hand. And so he uses the left hand to get the win, and Damian Priest and Truth get the dub, and somehow they are still tag team champions, but they've been more entertaining than the Y6 and the MFTs were champions, and it's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. Now, last thing here that we talk about on SmackDown, Sami Zayn. Oh my God, this is stupid, but we got to get into it. So maybe a little bit before the beginning of the night, we saw Trick Williams come out with Little Boat, aka Little Yachty. I don't listen to that type of music. So anywho, so they come out there, and it was a good little segment. They start calling Sami Zayn Gingerbread Man, which I thought was funny. And they just go back and forth. It's just a whole exchange as they get themselves set for that WrestleMania match. Now, this one actually has some storyline to it, so I will give them WWE credit on this. Even though I hate the fact that Carmelo's not champion, they've done a really good job of kind of setting the pace for this one. Now, Sami Zayn is out there talking. We do eventually see Carmelo come to the ring. Carmelo comes out there, and he gets the crowd behind him, and they kind of force himself to get a rematch. Well, what happens usually with me matches, they usually lose, and when they get that person out of the way. They say, "Hey, you had your rematch, you lost, and now we can move on to the next storyline." So it happens. Unfortunately, Melo comes out there. He loses this match to Sami Zayn, and he loses in kind of a rough way. Looked like Melo got, quote unquote, hurt during the match. The referee was checking in on him. Sami Zayn, in a little bit of a heelish move, pulls up to the corner, goes full speed, Halua kick right to the face of Carmelo. And what does the referee do when he was supposed to be checking on Carmelo? He goes right out there and counts the pin. And Sami Zayn is still your U.S. champion. But then Little Boat and Trick Williams come to the ring. And they talk trash to the Gingerbread Man, and this goes on and goes on. And then eventually little boat, aka little yachty, will grab Sami Zayn, and then a trick shot will put Sami Zayn down for the count, and then we are finished with SmackDown with what needs to happen at WrestleMania. And Trick Willie, that's Trick, holds the title up at the end of SmackDown. Sean Diva, there was a lot going on in SmackDown. What are your opinions on what you saw, what you wish you wouldn't have saw, and all that good stuff from supposedly
I'm
the
gonna
two
tell
best
you.
hours of the week?
I'm gonna tell you. At that point, when Sammy pinned Carmelo and all the things, I took this handy dandy. This is the notebook because I take my notes. I took the notebook and I threw it against the wall. And I was like, man, and I
Tired.
was already, it's been a bad, it's been not a bad week, but it's just been a busy week, and I was already tired. Usually on Fridays, it's like, oh yeah, this is the beginning of the weekend. This is gonna make me excited. I was falling asleep because I was irritated. Everything it irritates my soul. Now, going back to the Irresistible Forces and their tag team, go ahead and give all them ladies a ladder match. Go ahead. Just do a ladder match at WrestleMania so y'all can dead this. Like, y'all, the Bella Twins, this, that, and the other. I'm just tired. Go away from me. But it made no sense to me. You see that Sammy itself, they were booing him.
I
They
love
were
it.
booing. Everybody was, because they're like, okay, this it. Okay, y'all gonna give him so what's the point of y'all giving him a rematch if he wasn't gonna, we're not gonna put the title back on him. And I don't even think, because I was like, okay, maybe it'll be some type of, because again, we remember Trick was the reason why Carmelo lost it. So
Right.
the only fitting thing is you shouldn't even did a rematch. Okay, you want it? You want it? I got the championship. Both of y'all will fight me for the championship. That was supposed to happen, but I don't even think we're gonna get that. So I will watch it because I love Trick. Trick is doing amazing things. But at this juncture, y'all need to do right by Carmelo.
Exactly.
Y'all doing him wrong and dirty. And that's what's made me mad. Yeah, I just took it and threw it. And my husband was like, what is happening?
You good? Like, you good?
Pen like, went flying. Everything went flying. I was like, man. Mad.
Yeah. I get it. The stress is there because when you look at it, and 2 weeks, so we still have time for them to fix this. Look, Carmelo deserved a chance to be at WrestleMania, maybe defending this title, at least be in this match. They still have a way to kind of make this match a triple threat and make it all make sense, and have it for the title. And obviously they get Sammy back in Mania. Carmelo deserves it. He had a really good 2-month run as champion. He was taking on all comers, and he made the U.S. challenge pretty good. He put on good matches every single time. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of make this all happen. But they have to do something with this. They cannot not do anything with this.
But what I guess why I'm getting pissy about it is you have good talent. Give those people or the wrestlers the great talent. Give them the opportunities. It's nothing against Jelly Roll. It's nothing against ISO Speed. It's not like you call them little boat. That
little boat.
Me.
Little boat.
It's nothing wrong with having them in that, but give them, these wrestlers that work hard and put their bodies on the line every week after week, allow them their WrestleMania moment. Like, give Carmelo his moment. Give other people their moment that's back there in catering. Like, give them their moment. What are we doing? But yeah. And it makes me so mad. I'm so mad. And that lantern, I'm tired. Ever since it was fun in the beginning, it was fun. I was like, oh, the lantern. Give them, I'm with Tama. Give them this back. Now, one thing I can see, maybe possibly this is my dark horse or my thing. What if Tama kicks Solo out and he's no longer over the MFTs? What if Tama would be over the MFTs?
That's actually, I could deal with that. Tamba feels like he could be. I don't want to say, and I love Solo. I really do. Like Solo's. Right now they don't
Me
have
too.
funny. So I like when. So remember when Solo won the belt? He was like funny. So funny Solo is great. So I think if they did that, I could be cool with that. And they move on to their own thing, but that also opens up Solo to come back, maybe do stuff wrong. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where they go with this because now it seems like they may be breaking up the MFTs, but I feel like they never gave them a fair chance to like really be a good team. So that's where it's all kind of like in the mist here. Like, what are they doing? There's so many what are they doings on WWE. There's no like, oh man, this is going really great. This other than NXT, it's like, oh, this is going great. Like this is the way you're supposed to set up. There's not a lot of that. There's a lot of, huh? What? What are you doing here? Like, it shouldn't be the
Why?
case. Why? Like,
Why?
why every week I gotta watch a product and be like, huh? No. But they play on the fact that we're wrestling fans, and when you're a wrestling fan, you're usually diehard. It's
Are
hard
you
to. There's some
questioning
people.
what you put in your cup? You
Yep.
questioning what? What did I put?
It's like, did I put some Hennessy in here? Look, is there Jack Daniels in this cup? Did I do this? And that's the part that's frustrating. As a wrestling fan, you just want to see, you just want to see good stuff. And they'll have moments where you'll be like, okay, they're leading to something, and then just like that, they'll switch it, and you'll be like, what is that? That's the part that be getting me. What is that? So I don't know. It's a little bit frustrating, but maybe next week. Once again, this is the wrestling fan in us. Maybe next week, everything will change, right? maybe we'll get what we
I don't
want,
have any hope.
and you
Y'all, they
shouldn't.
have killed it for 2
they have,
weeks. Y'all
they have
have
killed it.
killed my faith in you. It's killed because I don't even. I'm just gonna give you the news that you can use. I don't even know what the news is anymore. It doesn't make sense. But I'm just gonna give it because I'm just watching just to see what disappointment. How are you gonna disappoint me this week? That's how I'm
Right.
going into things.
And look, as Eric would say,
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
and that's where we are. That's where we are. But like I said, Stand and Deliver is tonight. And before we run away, real quick, what do you want to see in Stand and Deliver tonight? Is there any match that you're looking forward to the most in Stand and Deliver tonight?
The main match is Kalani and because I'm still
I
learning
don't I don't I don't
Kalani
I don't
and
know I don't know if Kalani and them are going to be on this, but I know you got JC Jane and the potential triple threat. You got the fatal four-way between the guys happening
Fatal
tonight.
Four Way.
And then I
Tatum
think
and the little
Tatum and Blake
knockout
Monroe.
Tiffany Time, whatever her name.
Yeah, what Tiffy Time used to be in NXT, but no longer on the main roster. But that's another story too. Like, I'm not even gonna get into that. But
Yes, let's go.
it looked like it's gonna be a solid pay per view. They usually do well, so I think for me, maybe the Fatal Four is probably the one. But there's gonna be some good matches. So
I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah. I'm just looking forward to some good matches. That's all. That's all.
Hmm.
Well, everybody, that is it for this episode this week. Shout out to my girl Sean Diva, killing it. It was finally great to finally get a chance for Mr. Xclusive and Sean Diva to be in the same room at the same time, virtually, of course.
Yep.
And and it was great for that. But of course, everybody, y'all can head on over to our social medias. You can check us out on Facebook. We on that. TikTok, we on that. Instagram and YouTube, we are all on that. Make sure you check us out. Our followers are going up each and every day. We thank everybody for the support. We thank everybody for doing everything that they can to give us some love. We truly, truly appreciate it. And we're going to make sure that we keep doing things the exclusive way. Now, of course, as always here on the Exclusive Night Podcast, we do our best to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. That's right. That's all we want to do. And just to let you all know, ladies and gentlemen, that your nights will never
be
be
the same.
Never be the same. That's
Never.
Craig. We'll see
Never.
you. Real quick note. Remember, tonight you'll see HB Prince and Eric Knight giving you the review for Stand and Deliver. So make sure you tune in for that. Me and Sean Diva, we're going to be running around doing some other things, but make sure you check out the Nights tonight, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Until next time here on the Exclusive Nights podcast.